Hey, what's up? Metta World Peace here. The podcast is in the building. Test your greatness and never give up on anything that you're trying to achieve. So, Metta World Peace in the building. We back. I mean, it's been a long journey since I retired. I know some people see me around doing different things. But, when I retired, I went back to school, grinded it out. I was still around the game. I did apply for a few head coaching jobs. Just throw that out there. It was fun, but I coached Division II women's basketball for the last 5 years, and that's super exciting. We went to the NCAA tournament twice last year. So at some point, we'll be a head coach somewhere. It'll be exciting. Metta World Peace in the building. But I'm super excited about everything publicly that I'm, watching these days, like basketball in general. And I'm so excited about just entrepreneurship and everything like that. So many great entrepreneurs out there. When I retired, I went back to school because, when I was playing, I felt like I should have had a little bit more marketing, but I wasn't getting it for many reasons. So, I understand and I respect it. And then when I tried to launch my own brands, I was like, I need to learn something a little bit more deeper when it comes to launching your brand. So I kind of put a pause on it, did things over the last couple of years during retirement, and it's just super exciting. Go to thepandasfriend.com. It's our e-commerce services company, but you can go there and get merchandise. And it's super exciting, the things we're about to do there. It's just incredible. It's an incredible time to be an athlete. As you can see, there are lots of athletes doing new deals, whether it's with their teams or whether it's off the court, and it is exciting. It gives you an opportunity, to get involved. The world is your oyster, and that's factual. So with that being said, what an incredible time to be in sports. What an incredible time to be in different verticals. And I did get a lot of help along the way. Go to artistmanagementgroup.com. You can get a glimpse of what I've been doing over the last 8 years since retirement. In the beginning, it was rocky. I remember that first day after retirement. I was like, oh, what am I going to do? And I remember not really thinking, I'm like, well, I was a basketball player. I love coaching. I am still actively trying to become a head coach. But I was like, okay, I can be a head coach. And if that's not going to happen, which it didn't seem likely at that time. So I said, I can go back to school. I can go do entertainment. And I just said, I really want to figure out this marketing side. It's super exciting. So I really focused on that. So you'll see a lot of the roadmap, not the roadmap, but you'll get a sense of, oh, Metta's doing this now. Still love merchandise. I wore a lot of different brands over the years. I wore Adidas, I wore Nike. I think I had more, growing up, I obviously with Michael Jordan, Nike is it. But I think like in terms of my aspirations for sneakers and to be entertaining, wearing Adidas, wearing Fila, wearing Converse, wearing like Dadas at one point. I wore Kicks at one point. I wore a bunch of different shoes. And I also obviously Nike was the most that I've ever, the more, I've never worn more shoes than I wore Nike. Anyway, it's just super inspiring to see that's possible. And then now you see since then, look how many merchandising companies has launched, whether it's Fashion Nova, Fanatics, Shopify has launched since then, and other companies. So it's just super exciting to be able to use your brand and get it going. Media is also something I like. I did launch a publication in 2014. It was called courtsideaccess.com. You can buy it for, 2-3 million right now if you want it, but we're going to put that website out pretty soon. It's just super exciting. I was always interested in publications. And sometimes it's hard because people look at me and, hey, Metta, we want to see you play defense. We want to see you do all this. And I'm just like, I'm not necessarily focused on that these days. Sometimes, anyway, for a long time. And when you look at the possibilities, of launching like these companies. It is funny at times because I never in a million years would have thought, you know, like I'd be able to help companies. Now, I did get a letter from Princeton. I think I told people that. I'm so proud of that. I got a letter from Princeton, and I remember my freshman year in high school, I had a 60 average, a D. That was it. I went all the way up to a 95 by the end of my last semester. Senior year, I had a 95 average. So then that, qualified to receive a letter from Princeton, and I almost went. But I didn't go to Princeton because, I was thinking about ball. I knew they had the team at the time, but I'm like, the work might be hard too. So that was one of the main reasons. I was like, the work might be too hard. So, let me go take it down a notch. Then I was going to go to Miami, or I was really going to Miami or Notre Dame. Notre Dame, I was pretty sold on Notre Dame. But then Miami and then St. John's, obviously in New York, it just dwindled down. In New York City, it just dwindled down to St. John's. Purely because it's New York City. Pardon my hat. Yeah, I got a couple of them, but, you can see it. But yeah, so with that being said, that was exciting to be able to receive a letter, from Princeton, and also not going to Princeton, I still was thinking about majoring in architecture at Miami or Notre Dame. So, from that perspective, when I retired, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do a couple things, but I decided to just like go back to school. I could have done the entertainment and the rap stuff. I mean, maybe had somebody really polish it up, work hard, day-to-day grind, day-to-day work, and just become it. That's just life in general. That's how I made it to the league. I just became it, right? And now when I retired, I wanted to do something else. But I wanted to do it every day, and this is where we at. It's just super exciting, to be able to now, to be able to be in media, but from a different perspective, not necessarily talking about the game, which is fun. I love talking about the game. I coach. So, I'm still attached to the game. I can talk about the game. And I can beat a lot of you one-on-one. That's a fact. Right now at 300 and, like I played at 260. So now gaining an extra 30 is not a lot. Like people go from 220 to 300. So don't, but I'm saying I can play one-on-one and you can't guard me. But, I just put you in the post and put you there, but back you down a little bit. But it has to be against the right player, because an NBA player, that'd be tough. Right? Like, no, I don't think I can beat an NBA player one-on-one. But I can beat you one-on-one for sure. But not. But, so obviously I did play basketball. I love the game. And just being able to, be around the game, it's in a different lane, but it's still around the game. So here we are with this long transition, and there's incredible things happening in the game on and off the court. I am looking for, this year in the game, I am looking for more fundamentals and less traveling, please. If I could ask for one thing in the game right now, it'd be make that call when they travel. That's something I would like to see. But other than that, the comparisons, I mean, yeah, I would have loved to play in my prime against, but I can't. Vice versa, even going back to the 60s, but it's just not realistic. But one thing I can say, I can see why the fans is always asking questions like this. Is because as a player, I see myself sometimes like, what would I do against him? So as a fan, I understand the way y'all, are comparing players to players. So I understand. I just don't like to get involved in that side as much. But in terms of execution, That's different. We could talk about execution all day and the way players have an impact on the game, different things like that about the game. That sounds cool. And also, the players are doing a lot of great things off the court. I mean, you look at players like Antoine Walker, who contributed to this world off the court. Real quick, I'm gonna give a shout out to Buttercloth. This is our other e-commerce company that I really like. Honestly, I'm just saying it's really comfortable. It's buttercloth.com, and go buy some, and go to pandasfriend.com too while you're at it. That's our other e-commerce services company. But we do sell t-shirts and hats. But when you look at like guys that contributed to just giving back to society off the court, like Antoine Walker, Allen Iverson, different people in their communities, just hey, come along for the ride, and go empower yourself. That's big. So I often look at the athletes and what they're doing off the court, and it's super inspiring to this day. Even when you retire, because typically you want to play that next year, if I'm not mistaken. So you still competing, and depending on what type of player you are, you still like, all right, I'm trying to get that spot. I want to play on this team. Maybe I want to contribute, be a practice player, or maybe I actually want to play. Right? It's just your mindset. But no matter which way you go about it, at some point in time, if that scenario was to happen, you'll be playing against somebody. And who is it? Right? And I want to go at them. I don't want to just contribute. And I want to win, but I also want to go at son. Go at son means I want to compete against another player. For those who don't really know what go at son means, but yeah. So I still love the game, but now I'm 8 years removed. So from that perspective, not thinking about the game in that lens anymore. So it's just super exciting to be around sports. I got a different perspective on sports. Sports does something for me, that basketball does something for me that other things can't. I truly do believe boxing is my favorite sport. I truly do believe boxing is my favorite sport. But basketball does something for me that other things can't, if that makes sense. This is why I coach. This is why I coach girls basketball. Because coaching is incredible. It's fun. You either want to coach or you don't want to coach, or you got a great opportunity, whatever the case may be. But for the most part, if you have played before, you either want to coach or you don't want to coach. So from that perspective, it's fun. I enjoy it. I didn't. Well, I'm not gonna say I didn't think I wouldn't have enjoyed it, because I've always wanted to be a coach, actually. So for a long time, I've been coaching, and I think that's why I've coached in the Drew League. I've coached my own teams, and I coached so much. Or even while I was playing, I was coaching. In Venice Beach, I coached, and then I also coached in the NBA for a G League team and Division II college. So from that perspective, I love the game. I'm kind of cautious on what I say about the game, because I'm coaching, I'm around players. Certain things I just don't want to get involved in, because I'm not going to feel comfortable if I see somebody face to face, quite frankly. And you know what? I want to talk about other things anyway. I'm just like, how can I, but I get it. It's sports, so it's all good. It's sports. That's how, that's sports. I've been on both sides of sports, and, some things is unfortunate, and you just do what you got to do. So from my perspective of sports, it's still involvement, production, media, technology, different things like that is exciting. The competition, going to the games, and just being innovative, in the space. I think that's really exciting to me. So, like I said, we got our golf event coming up. Tickets are going up, fairly fast. So, fairly done. That's going to be coming up soon. So, you want to play some golf? Hit us up. thepandasfriend.com. Go hit us up there. Buttercloth.com. It's such a great and comfortable shirt. Hit us up there. We do have a couple of companies that we've been marketing, so we just want to continue to do what we do. easycarelink.com. That's another website you can go to if you need any nursing or staffing, shortages, facilities, anybody out there where they need nurses, or you want to become a nurse, or you're trying to find work, you can go to easycarelink.com. And you can go to Artest Management and Artest and makingfinancial.com. You can go there also, and you can look at what services we got. Maybe it fits you, maybe it doesn't. But we are having a great time. I really appreciate y'all looking at this video. We'll be doing some other things. Sometimes I'll take the glasses off and I'll put on a basketball jersey and play some ball. But for now, we're in the building. Metta World Peace. Test your greatness. Remember, never give up on anything that you want to achieve. See you soon.